Back in the shop here for another day of work on the blades. Really excited. Today is when we'll really see them start to come to life, and that is, if you remember yesterday, we did the 36 grit bevel grinds, which are quite coarse. You can see this is a beautiful one here, but you can hear that texture. The 36 grit is really, really coarse. So the first thing we're going to do is switch to a 120 grit and start carving out some of those coarse grind marks. And the 120 grit with the speed mod grinder turns will leave a beautiful, almost a satin finish, which I might stop with. I might go to 220. We'll see, but I'm gonna go to the 120 next anyways. Then we'll get to the fun part, which is doing some stamping on these. Stamp my initials. Maybe I've been even thinking of stamping these 1 through 6 for this batch number, and that'll add something a little special. I'll stamp it back here somewhere on the tang, and that way it'll be known forevermore. Those scales ever need to be replaced, the number's there. Or maybe I'll do it up visible. Maybe I'll do it on the opposite side of the knife and do the number or something like that. Might be fun for the first batch, 1 through 6. We're going to punch holes in the tang as well for pins, and well, we'll just work, see how much time we get. I'm nice and clean now, got a shower this morning, but I'm about to get dirty again. Not as bad today. With the coarse belts, the 36 grit, you're left full of metal shavings, which is really itchy and uncomfortable. However, with the 120 grit, it's so fine, it's just like a dust. You don't feel it the same. Gotta wash up the same, but it doesn't make you uncomfortable. We don't want to do any stamping before we finish off our grinds, because it is so easy to dip that belt or dip your knife in a little bit and you'll just carve up through this surface here. It's very difficult. In fact, even now switching over to the 120 without the stamp, it's a little bit difficult to keep on that exact plane there perfectly to not change this profile line. Very tough. So if we do our stamp now, we might end up clipping half of it out or something like that. So I'd rather not do it until our grinding's pretty much done. Listening to some more Willie today. Got the Bluetooth buds on. Much better. So now this is the knife finish on the 120 grit belt. I think I am definitely going to 220 this time. I want a smoother grind than this, a little bit smoother. So I'm going to go up to the 220. And this knife, I'll show you right here the scuff. So I'm going to have to repair that now with some sandpaper by hand. This is the only mark I got on all of these knives, which is quite unusual for me. Usually I have this on almost every one of my blades that I have to repair. But that's very fortunate. It makes so much less work for me to just have the one. So now to make that correction, the sandpaper has bled down over into my grind a little bit, but now I can just do 1 or 2 passes on this flat plane on my belt grinder and it just crisp up and you'll have that line back there again. So that's what I'm going to do here now. So you can see I took out that scuff, but now I've got to just do one more pass, quick pass, just to clean up that line and get these scratch patterns consistent here. So you can see just with one pass, now we've got that nice crisp line there. This wave line is a little bit wavy now, just because of that last pass I made. But I can clean that up after heat treat. So I went ahead and ground those blades up to a 220 grit belt, just to let you know what that looks like. There it is right there. And look at that sharp line you can get. The lower grit the belt is, generally the thinner it is. So you get that hardness against the platen, so you can get that perfect line. There's no rounding, there's no folding over. So you just get one flat face and then another flat face. Just look at that beautiful texture, and that's what we'll finish off with. After our heat treat, we'll go back on with the 220 again and just re-establish this in that color. Just look at that. So beautiful. Now we're about to get on to something that I haven't had a lot of experience with, something I've started recently, but something I'm excited about, and that is stamping the blades. So I've got this nice little kit of stamps here that's on loan from my buddy Scott. I guess I'll have to buy these off of him or pick up my own set at some point. But we're just going to do our stamps. We're going to try to fit them in this brim right up here. Not a lot of space, so we're going to have to be precise. Here we go. There we are. Pretty close to the back there, but that's absolutely fine. Instead of switching out my vice grips twice for everyone, I'll just go ahead and do all my K's now. Just to give you an idea of how it looks, there it is, the K in. I like that. I love having my having a stamp, some kind of mark of my own on these blades. But now to make these even a little more special, it's the first run, the first batch of knives of the new pattern, the BAKEAPPLE. So I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the opposite side from the letters. Here they are, all stamped for initials. And then here they are, all stamped by number, which is very cool. I think that's a super cool feature of this set of knives right here. So now we're on to another part of the process, which is we have to do 2 divots for where pinholes are going to be so we can drill them out. I just used this old little cold cut punch here for that. Now I need to make sure I do it. Last time, my last batch of knives I punched almost all of them, and I think there were 3 knives that I forgot to drill tang holes. I realized that while they were in the forge heating that they didn't have holes pre-drilled. So once I finished heat treating them, I went to do that, and I took my punch and went to put a divot in the steel, and it actually broke off the top of my punch and stuck in my stomach right here somewhere. So you definitely got some hard steel after heat treat. I don't use any jigs for this either, all by eye. I don't measure up. I like leaving that bit of creativity to it. So they're all just a little touch different. I'll eyeball center, and then you can tell me whether you think that's center up and down or not. I'd say pretty close, and that's how I'll do them all, just like that. So here's the cutting fluid, some Walter Cool Cut. I'm excited to try this out. Some metal cutting lubricant gel. Tells me this will make a huge difference in my drilling, keeping things cool and efficient when cutting. And I'm excited because I've ruined a lot of bits like that. So Jonathan, thank you so much, buddy, for this. I'm excited to give it a shot. Set up our drill press here now. This is my little leather punching bit. I need to move up to something bigger. A 3/16 bit. I've been using these little, the small step drill bit, and I've been finding it to be excellent. Super sharp. The step drill because it allows me to chamfer the inside of the hole. It's a little easier to get the pins through there later on. I can tell already that it's just a huge difference with this stuff. It's cutting so fast. You're getting these, just look at the size of these steel cuttings that bit is pulling off there. Just big bundles of steel shavings that are real thick, a mil thick in some cases, which you were getting a lot more fine shards, a lot of little splinters of steel before, and this is just cutting just beautiful big rings off of that tang. So this is another session done here today, and we're moving right along. We've got those grinds done right up to 220 grit. We punched all our pinholes, and then we punched our holes for the last set of holes you saw me punch were just random holes, and those are just to give it a little more room for epoxy between the tang and the scales. Some people drill big holes in their tang like that for weight reduction. I don't do that, not at this point, maybe later on, but I don't see weight as an issue at all. Maybe if I was getting into a tactical style knife, it'd be a little bit more important, but at this point I almost feel like I want a little more weight in my hand, a little bit more substance there. But these are turning out great so far. Super happy with them. I love this pattern. These grinds turned out great. Really proud of how well I was able to hold my grinds this time. Much better than any blade so far in terms of consistency. I haven't been this consistently accurate, so that's nice. So they're all stamped, initialed, and numbered 1 through 6. First batch ever. I think these are going to be real special. I wonder who's going to get one. It's exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow we have a really excited part you want to make sure you come back for, and that is heat treat. The heat treat process is loud, it's hot, it's pretty extreme, but it's a lot of fun, and you get to do something really incredible, which is turn a super soft, malleable steel into wicked tough steel that's able to take a razor edge. It just brings your brings what you've done here from just a scrap slab of steel to a knife, a working knife that's capable of so much. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, which you should be subscribed by now. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.